Good evening. It is 6 o'clock on December 9th, 2025. This is a meeting of the Norwalk Conservation Commission and Inland Wetland Agency. Could we have roll call, please?
Yes. Steve Bakke,
Here.
Evan Haley,
Here.
Heather Breslin,
Here.
Vince,
Here.
Elise, Alum.
Alum.
Alum?
Yeah,
Always
here.
second
okay.
guess myself. I promise I will.
That is okay.
Great.
People mess it up, or not mess it up. They confuse it. It's
Alum,
understandable.
like the
Yeah.
That's
the
what I was
onions.
thinking. What is actually?
exactly.
We can talk about it later. I do want to know what alum is later, though. I mean,
Sure.
as a
And-
cookie,
And
not
and
an
how
Elise.
it
We
goes.
know what an Elise is. Sorry.
I don't even know what that is either. So, I'm figuring it out. That's okay.
All right, Ed Holowenko. Can't hear you, Ed. Your Zoom has you unmuted, but we're not hearing you. And then lastly, Catherine Knight is here too.
Here.
We'll try to keep working on getting Ed.
Nothing
Maybe.
yet, Ed. You can just use hand signals unless, of course, you want to ask a question. Nothing. Nope. Oh. Now try it. No, we lost it. Okay.
Well, hopefully he comes back.
I'm gonna as Alexis informed us, this will be a very quick one because we do not have, well, first of all, I should ask if there's anyone from the public logged in to participate.
There is not.
Sweet. We don't have any new applications. We don't have anything on the agenda for discussion and or decision, which takes us straight to bond release or reduction requests. Ed, you're back. You have audio yet or no? Okay, you can hear us. We can't hear you. But nope. You can always do we have a chat? Oh, we really don't have a chat, do we?
No, not for webinars. That's disabled.
Okay.
So
Well, Ed, I tell you what, you're welcome to continue participating, or if you wanted to bow out, we've got enough commissioners and this will be a quickie. So
well
we're not gonna like
before Ed goes though, so Ed, as I think Ed knows, his term is up at January at the end of the year. And correct me if I'm wrong, but your response to me was that you are not looking to be reappointed. Right.
Oh,
So maybe just a minute. So Ed has been here. I calculated his tenure of 281 months of service, which is
Wow.
2 years, 5 months, and a couple days, 23 years, sorry, and 5 months.
wow.
He was, yes, I arrived, and then like minutes later, Ed was appointed to the commission and has been here ever since.
Well, thank you, Ed. That's a lot of service.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed. What did we finally push you over the edge? Was that?
He lost his voice.
Yes.
Oh, Ed, I wish we could hear you.
I wish
Yeah.
we could hear you.
This is totally not fair. I mean, you can't after 24 years end on a meeting where we can't actually hear you.
It's true. You're gonna have to come back a lot.
Or
Yeah.
if you can, yeah, if you want to, you can call using like your phone. You can call in, like if you go on the on the city's webpage, you can log in as just like a regular tele user, and then we might be able to hear you. But I'm not sure what's going on with your audio.
I think he's saying it's been the best experience of his life.
It was an honor and a privilege.
Yeah. And Matt
He wants to
Pence was
end
the
on a high.
best. Yeah,
Let's try it again. Third time the charm, right? Let's see.
maybe.
Can you hear anything?
Ah, yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit.
little.
Yeah.
Yes, very light.
You gotta speak loudly though.
It's been fun, most of it.
Oh, now we lost him again.
We lost him again.
Maybe come closer, Ed. Maybe come closer. Nope.
Well, we got the it's been fun. So
It's been fun, but
Don't be a stranger, Ed. Keep in touch.
yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
take care.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you
Ed.
very much.
We'll miss
It's
you.
been a pleasure working with you.
Well, but oh, there he
Oh,
goes. Okay,
all
so
right.
that was it. Wow, that was a pretty glorified
Ceremonious.
end. Yeah.
That was sad.
I always
Yeah.
see Ed around, so I have a feeling it's not the end of him.
Yes.
Uh,
He's
for
still in
those,
Norwalk.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, I think Ed is involved in the Switch Tower Museum, which is at
Oh,
the
cool.
intersection of
Yeah, I know what it
Washington
is.
and West or
Mm-hmm.
South Main.
It's
South Main. Thank you. And it is really cool.
Oh my gosh.
Never been, but now that I know Ed's there, it's giving me a reason. So
It's open May through October, I think. And there's literally 20 feet of switches like that. And there's some record like there was never ever an accident in Norwalk because of the way that switch tower was designed or something like that.
I knew I
Yeah.
recognized him from somewhere. It's so funny.
But that's where you've seen him?
Yes, as you probably know, I spent a lot of time at the Switch Tower Museum.
Okay. Anyways, check it out. Okay, boy, are we way off track here. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm driving the ship here. How about we start with
You gonna
S16?
switch gears? Sorry. Sorry.
No, that was well played.
Oh,
Nice.
Sorry.
Let's keep this train moving. S16-486A, 75 Witch Lane. Reduction of bond.
well, the permit was initially issued in 2016, so it's been a long ride. It was transferred in 2023. This is for the construction of a new house. This is the so there were a total of 4 lots on the corner of Witch and Range. These are the two easternmost lots, and the first one is the lot that's to the east of the pond and near the road. That one, hold on, just checking my notes. Mary Beth and Lee went out recently and spoke with the developer. My notes. A total of 50 shrubs were required, and additionally 50 iris and about 225 carex sedges. And they had some trouble finding some of the shrubs, and particularly a lot of the pussy willow and the clethra they were unable to find. So the developer did provide confirmation that all had been planted. The buffer looks generally good. I can bring up some photos. It is now owned by a new the bond remains in the
With the developer.
I can find it in the name of the developer, but it is a new owner. Generally, things are in relatively good shape, except for that some of a certain species weren't located. So whether they've all died, or it was just that by the time that staff did their inspection, that they were hard to identify, and that they were out there but not clear. Sorry, I had a gazillion photos open and then I closed them because I was like, oh, it'll be easy to find now. Let me share the screen. So this is when they went out at the end of November. You know, it's a wetland because there's a rubber ducky in the wetland. But this is the pool that was added on with a later permit, that was an administratively approved permit after a lot of discussion from you. And these boulders are the boulder demarcation. So above that is very clearly lawn, and then generally below that's been maintained. Again, it doesn't look great, but these are the shrubs. Some of the shrubs that were planted. This is kind of more typical of that buffer. Yeah. Some of the areas, this is the edge of the pool. Some of the areas right through here are looking a little bit extra mowed. We have let the developer know that that this area should not be maintained as lawn, that the lawn is pretty much in line with the pool. But there's kind of some more of the shrubs. So it ends up being with the missing, it's 5 pussy willow that they couldn't find, and then they only could find 3 of the 18 required clethra, and 2 of the 4 winterberry. Otherwise, everything else was found, but that drops you down to about a 57% survival rate for the buffer area. This permit, it's a total of a $12,067 bond. 7,107 was to be held for 2 full growing seasons for the plants, and that's it has been 2 full growing seasons, but again, what I
Alexis, are you on 75 or 77 Witch Lane? Because the first one, the 486A was 75 Witch Lane, and the bond looked like it was 10940.
On that.
Hold on, let me double check.
Catherine, what's your question, Wall? Is it something that you think
Yeah,
Alexis?
did they replace the shrubs that they couldn't put in, or were those just they only planted what they found, or did they substitute those with something else?
They counted total shrubs, so they didn't substitute them.
So they planted only like a very low percentage of what they were asked to plant, basically.
Lots are so confusing. 46. 46 is 12,000. So it looks like the numbers on the agenda are incorrect. The 12,067 is for 486, now known as 75 Witch Lane. And so on the agenda, it refers to a total 10,940, and that is Incorrect. That's the other bond.
Okay, so you just need to swap them. Do we need to amend the agenda to quick motion or just?
You can for clarification. It's
Well, we're
just
not
the-
talking about
the
different
amendments.
properties. We're just the numbers
Right.
on the agenda aren't right. So
Right.
it's
I
not
think
a
you're
bad idea,
fine.
Matt, but let's just let it roll.
You
Okay.
can,
Good looking out though.
You're looking out though.
Yeah, no, whatever makes the right sense procedurally.
right. So this is 486, which is the lot in the front by Witch Lane that also received a minor permit to add a pool. And its total bond was $12,067.
How do we quantify the grass value? The ground cover being mowed.
Yeah, that's a good question. So you have the bond is made up of three components: 7,107 for the two full growing seasons for the plants. 3,750 is held for 3 years for invasive plant management, and then 1,210 was held for sedimentation, erosion control, and general site stabilization.
Okay.
So
Oh,
I think that's
so
no.
can you just
sorry.
give me, sorry, the planting versus what they planted versus what they said they couldn't plant numbers?
Yes. Total of 50 shrubs were required, in addition to seed mix and the forbs. And their most recent inspection found a total of 28 shrubs.
28 out of 50, and let's just say 50 out of 50% of the ground cover.
A little, yeah,
Less.
yeah, a little bit more. No, it's only a small sliver that is maintained as lawn.
Okay.
1/4.
Oh, geez, now you're making that hard. Okay, so I'm gonna say that out of the three values, working from backward to forward, the 1210 for sediment erosion control, I think is probably fine, right? You didn't see any. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The 3750 for 3 years for invasive control, I think is probably fine.
They have not been 3 years yet, so it's only
not
been
been
2
3 years.
years since they started, so that's not
Okay,
eligible.
hold that one. And then out of the 7107 for 2 years, let's say it's better than half. Let's say it's 2/3 overall, roughly. Help Ms. Economist with the numbers here. 14 divided by 3 is 4,000. So like 80,
I mean, they did like 56%. I mean, of what
56%.
yeah.
Okay, so 56% of 7107 is
But they didn't even start out, they only started out planning like about half of what was asked. So they just didn't plant.
No, yeah, no, they did. They planted everything.
But no, but they planted 28, but they couldn't get the other shrubs, so they didn't find a substitute.
No, they say that they planted everything. And our notes indicate that they had found all shrubs when they were first planted in 2023. When they went out to do their final inspection in November 2025, they could not find they could only find 28 of the shrubs. Sorry, just to clarify.
Oh,
Okay.
so they had planted them, they just couldn't find them
Right.
surviving.
Living.
Okay.
Right. And they went out there twice to look. And the developer did confirm that he had originally planted them all, but they could not find. It was mostly the clethra. So I don't know if they had significant deer browse, but they couldn't find them.
they didn't plant a plethora of
A plethora of clethra.
Clethra.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? Why
Gimme.
don't we request or can we request in the future for photo documentation of the plants?
So we do have photos of when they plant them, that
Oh, we
they
do.
provided. Yes. So that, and then the idea of the bond being held for 2 full growing seasons is that not only do they have to plant them, but some number has
Yeah.
to survive.
No, I get that. I didn't because I didn't know if we had pictures
Don't
of
spill it.
what?
Sorry.
Oh, of the 28 or whatever, right? That's what I wanted to. So, okay.
Yeah, so we do have photographs both from the developer and from us.
Okay, apologies. I
Um,
didn't understand that.
And for the most part, so it was installed about 2 years ago. They started to do their site work in March 2023. And then their plantings were in, for the most part, in early 2024. And so they've gone through 2 full growing seasons of the spring, summer 2024, then the spring, summer, and fall 2025. The buffer, other than the strip closest to the pool that I showed you, does seem to meet the initial intent of the buffer that was required by the permit. However, I always let you know so the intent is there, except for that strip of lawn, but they appear to have a relatively higher number of shrub mortality. That was what I was attempting to convey unsuccessfully.
So what are our options here?
So your options are
some of
either,
it, none of it.
Yep, all of those are your options. Yes.
I've got a calculation. So of the 7107 for the plants for 2 years, I'm just going to stick with the 56% because that's what I wrote down. So we give them back 3980 of that, hold on to the rest. We hold on to the entire 3750 for the 3 years, but we let go of the entire 1210 for sediment and erosion control for a total of 5190 returned right now. The rest to be held.
What's the average rate of success for 2 years?
It varies widely by property. Some of the other one, you have a lot on tonight. You have some that had 100% survival. 2 actually where all the shrubs survived, and then others that have had continual issues with shrubs and are closer to in the 60s.
What do we ask for? I'm
So-
sorry.
I generally consider success if it's 80% or more if you're doing
Okay.
shrubs. It kind of depends on what was planted too.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have a lot more herbaceous, sometimes you have just a seed mix, sometimes you have a mix of shrubs and trees. So it depends on what was planted as well. But for shrubs, I'm generally looking at an 80% or more.
Okay. I was just
So-
going to say, Steve, you could factor that in because if you're
I think we'd want to encourage them to maybe think about planting some more shrubs.
like whatever worked well.
Yeah.
So did you want me to derate my 56% for an 80%
I did.
or the opposite of derate?
Yeah.
So as a chair of this commission, I'm going to tell you to bugger off, and I'm going to move
Fine.
to release 5190, hold on to the rest, and suggest they
Just a quick question. Sorry to cut you off, Steve. The sedimentation and erosion control, do we feel good about that piece? Sorry.
no control as board whatsoever.
Oh. No, really. I don't know. I don't understand that part.
Yes, so generally the sedimentation erosion control is the portion of the bond held for during a construction activity when the site is disturbed and it's paying for the silt fence and or hay bales that are installed at the limit of disturbance. And it also covers kind of a basic, just a reseeding and stabilization of the site. And I'd say that the site is stable. It is completely vegetated, with some sort of vegetation everywhere.
I needed that refresher. All right, carry on, Steve. Thanks, Alexis.
Fine. I should ask, does anyone have any more questions about this particular permit application and request for reduction or release of the bond? Hearing none, I'm going to move to release 5190 as summarized earlier, and you caught that math right, Alexis? Okay. Can I have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Heather got it. Now would we like more discussion?
If you took the percent, no, no.
Okay. All in favor of the motion on the floor? Aye.
Hey,
I,
All right. Moving on.
think
Was
that
that
was-
effective?
I think that was anonymous.
Okay, unanimous, I believe. And can we include something in the communication about how they're not going to get the rest of it until they get a few more of those shrubs growing and stop treating that strip as a lawn?
Absolutely.
Sweet. Danke. Okay, so we're going to move on to S16-487A, 77 Witch Lane, which should read on the agenda as having a bond held of 10,940, not the 12,067 that was for 46 that we just discussed.
Similar to the one that we just waded through previously, 5,600 of that total bond is held for 2 full growing seasons to cover the planting plan.
Sorry, give me the number again. 5,000 what?
5,600.
Okay.
Once again, a 3,750 for a 3-year invasive plant management protocol. And finally, a 1,560 for sedimentation and erosion controls.
Thanks.
The site is stable. The buffer is good. Buffer has a how much paper? 80 in excess of an 80% success rate. Misplaced my paper.
Do you have photos you'd like to share? Are folks interested
I
in seeing
do.
photos?
I can find photos. All right, so that is 27. I think it's labeled this one. Part of my confusion is that these lots have different numbers, street numbers, than when they originally came before us. They had they were called something different. So
It happens to us all the time in like a 200 unit apartment building.
yes.
Like the architect thought the numbers were all thought the numbers were going to be one thing, and then the owner is like, no, we're going to do it different.
70. So in this one, let's see, where am I back at the duck? Hold on.
Did you budget a new laptop over there, Alexis?
Now this is the same laptop, but I'm not doing anything on, I'm not going to touch the parts that are posted. Oh my goodness, I had these earlier. No, I don't have photos. I
Okay.
do. If I find them, I will show them to you.
Does anyone have a problem with that or have any additional questions?
no.
Okay.
Using using the same formula, if it's 80%, right?
No, we were going to accept.
It's more than 80%.
More than 80%, so that's good.
That's a success.
Yeah.
No, Steve vetoed my formula.
So I came up with 7160, Alexis. That is the plants for 2 years, and it is the sediment erosion control, but it is not the 3 years.
Yes.
Well, so we're holding 3750.
Yes.
That's my motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Catherine, any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? Beautiful. Is that okay, Alexis? Or you want me to give you a minute? Okay.
Super organized.
I mean, I don't have anywhere to be. I was speaking of which. Hang on.
I can read Dashy. Go.
Go take a shower. All right. Moving on. S19-546B, 10 Willard Road. Good Lord, this is a long time ago.
Yep.
Just like the other ones.
Yes. So this is the final portion of the bond. If you recall, there was a large bond that was originally required as part of the development of this apartment complex. And then the applicant came back to modify the permit to allow, basically it was a corrective action modification to align the site conditions to what was originally approved. If you recall, they had planted some bamboo next to the cell tower that is adjacent to the apartment building.
Yep.
And they changed some of the crossings of the intermittent watercourse in the surrounding wetlands adjacent to it. So I'll just share the screen real quickly. So this is the remainder of that. This is the end of the bond. And so this was mostly related to confirming that the bamboo stayed in place and some replanting of the buffer at the top of the intermittent watercourse. So this is just off Westport Avenue. There's this little L-shaped remnant of a wetland and watercourse. The other ends of it have been piped. But this is some of the plantings. The watercourse is at the bottom of this this lovely feature here. Oops. Let me go back. And so this is the bamboo that was planted next to the cell tower with its special curb that extends deep underground. There has been no migration of the bamboo from in any direction. And I just have a few others. They're very hard to see, but there are shrubs here along. This is the limit of the buffer here. So their silt fence here, and then the watercourse is down inside of this. This is their
Is the
their
silt fence
emergency
still
access.
there?
It is, yes. So I'm not sure when this is another new silt fence. I think it was reinstalled again. I presume after they had gone back in to do the replanting here. I'd ask them to remove it. But so, for example, here are two shrubs along this top line, and then more of the planted buffer.
I'm sorry, Alexis. Did I miss this? But was up for bond release previously?
Yes,
Right.
it's been up multiple times.
Okay.
So those are kind of the photos of what's there. Again, this is that emergency access in the dog park area that's off to the back, and the apartment buildings are here. So that's it. They, all the plants that they replanted, which is mostly the dogwood, and again the bamboo management seems to be complete. So,
Do you see any areas of non-compliance based on all the history on this one?
no, not really. I think that one of the reasons that you had held the bond was the kind of hopes that they could maybe wrangle some of the invasive plants within the wetland a little bit more aggressively. This was an older permit that didn't include any specific bonding for, non-native invasive plant management. They have done some, but to their credit, they do have a wetland that was aggressively dominated by a suite of non-native invasives, and other than ripping out the whole wetland, it would be really difficult to completely kind of get rid of all invasive plants. So I think it's better than when they initially started. And I'd say that they've met the conditions of the permit.
All right, I say let it go. Anybody have any thoughts?
Yeah, just ask them to remove the silt fence.
Yep.
Is that a motion,
was-
Catherine?
To remove the silt fence?
No, to
Oh.
release the bond.
Sure.
Okay, I'll
Yes,
second.
motion.
Any discussion? And I can't see everybody now, so
Oh,
you have to speak up.
Stop sharing. Sorry.
No, that's not your fault. Okay, all right, hearing no discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Good enough. Moving on. S23-613, 18 West Eastwood Road.
Okay, this one was on your agenda at the last meeting when my computer stopped working and I could not continue with my description of the work. Let me get some photos up. So this is a 2023 corrective action permit. So the plants, the bond required removal of fill within the wetland and then planting of the wetland and a narrow buffer area. So the plants themselves are in good shape. I remember right, the inspectors say that they found all of the shrubs. However, this is one where the area around the shrubs does appear to be being mowed relatively regularly. So here's some photos again. These were from early November. So this is to the right of the driveway. This is also to the right of the driveway. But this whole area is buffer area. This is the water course on the property. So it's kind of this area that has been mowed. It was seeded with a non-native seed mix. In some areas, are definitely taller grass. And then there's this area of a little bit of disturbance again.
Why did we punt on this one last time?
My computer froze. I was bumped off of Zoom. So it's the shrub survival has been high, but maybe the intent of the buffer is a little lackluster, is how I would describe it.
Do we have a breakdown of the bond similar to the first two properties?
Yes, let me share. So for this one, the entire bond was for the plants. So it was just held for 2 full growing seasons for the let me just pull up, hold on.
The thing is a little concerning is they just have there's no ground cover at all over the soil right by the wetlands. So in terms of sedimentation, that's an issue.
Which we didn't anticipate, and it's not technically part of the violation. I would expect, right, Alexis?
Would be a new, right.
New violation.
We've told them to seat it and stop whatever he is doing.
I mean, so really all we've got to lean on for withholding any of the bond is the mowing of the grass.
Which wouldn't be seed mix.
Right. So it would just be not to stop mowing.
Yeah.
So like all of the conditions, it states that the disturbed wetland shall be restored to its original grade, the wetland restored with native vegetation, and a vegetated buffer be established and maintained adjacent to the wetland. The buffer shall extend to all currently wood chipped areas west of the wetland. The area within this buffer shall be maintained in such a manner that allows the area to establish a natural vegetated state. This area in the wetland shall not be maintained as lawn, landscaped garden, manicured, featured, or mulched area.
Okay, I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
I
the
don't think
question
he's
is how
met-
much do we hold on to? Oh, sorry, Catherine.
I don't think he's met it, and in fact that the fact that there's like a still disturbed area, it hasn't gone. He might have planted the stuff, but it hasn't been left to go into a vegetated state, and so obviously there's been activity there.
Will we consider a partial release or hold on to it all?
Let's-
The bond is 5,900. So what was the what was the breakdown of that? Was there a breakdown?
It was all plantings.
It was all plants.
So I can pull up the calculation, which I don't have open. So it was just all for planting, and then I can look for the 18 Eastwood. So then the breakdown for so then when we calculate the bonds, we use our calculator, which is just kind of a spreadsheet. It has an amount for the shrubs, the small shrubs, an amount for the shade trees, an amount for the smaller multi-stem trees, an amount for the native wetland seed mix, and then an amount for the film removal and the invasive plant management and kind of site stabilization. So
Okay.
site stabilization and seeding in general, it comes to $910, whereas the actual like the plant stock, the trees, the shrubs, and the wetland seed mix comes to $5,055.
Catherine, is it being too generous to release all but the 910?
I think so, because you either release it and then you'd be issuing a violation enforcement action because of the lawn and because of the, after you've had that kind of instruction, obviously it's not being followed. The fact that there's soil and there's not a vegetated state. So there's quite a few violations of what was in the permit.
But was that area disturbed, Alexis, when we found out about this violation, or has it been like added on to,
Well, see if I have photos. Hold on a second.
or if I'm
Well, that's-
splitting hairs, just say, shut up, it doesn't matter.
The soil bit looks like, because obviously after 2 years, it should not be soil. It should be vegetated.
But he could have been, if it wasn't under our purview initially, then he could have been doing an entirely different project there. We just happened to notice it.
Mm.
It's-
You know what I mean?
I think that's
So
the
it
case,
looked
right?
like this is what it looked like. No, it kind of looked the same. I'll just share.
Okay, good. Well then,
The violation was issued in 2022. And this is that side. So there's that stump, and then
That's mulch, not, or is it dirt?
That might be, that's
Dirt.
probably mulch. That looks like mulch,
Okay.
similar to the rest.
All right,
So
so
it-
the
it's
mulch
always
is removed
kind
but
of-
not covered, or
Right.
the ground is not recovered. So yeah, that was definitely under our purview then.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, fine. But still, I mean, the ground cover mix, erosion management, and site stabilization, that was the 910.
That was the 910. Yes.
I thought
that's-
the seed mix was
Oh.
was really separated out from the 5,000.
So the seed mix itself comes to $70.
Yeah.
And that's part of that $5,055. And then the actual, like the seeding and stabilization, that was part of that 910.
All right, so we're looking 980 that we could
Yeah,
justify
I think
holding
that
back.
I suspect that the seed mix was seeded. He's just been mowing it, so it will probably. I don't think he needs. Well, he would
He can
need
just
to
quit
reseed
mowing
that
it.
other. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Seed the part that's bare dirt. Let the rest of the area that's been seeded with the right stuff just grow like it's supposed to and not trim it. But I don't think we can hold more than 980 back. Elise is nodding. That's a very gentle nod from Catherine, I think. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, oh, sorry, Elise, were you gonna say
Yes.
something?
I actually was going to ask, do we have any numbers in terms of what's been planted and survived, like what survived in terms of the shrubs and trees and everything like that? Do we have like
Yes, 100% of
viability
the
looking like?
planted shrubs and trees survived. So he planted 21 shrubs, 7 shade trees that were a minimum of 5 foot in height at the time of planting, and then 2 additional multi-stem trees, and all of those survived.
Okay.
So he had a high success rate for his planting. It's just his maintenance of the area.
Okay. So if we were to issue a violation, it would just be because of the non-native seed mix, invasive plant management and site stabilization. And then for the original bond, there was a portion where, if I remember correctly, you were saying part of the bond was essentially holding space and time to allow native plants to take root, as I'm understanding it, or just sort of, is that also part of the bond?
That is the language of the bond when they a typical condition requires that a bond be posted to ensure certain work. Portions of the bonds are eligible for release once the work is done, like the sedimentation erosion control typically. But when there's plantings, right, they're often held for 2 full growing seasons to make sure that they are not only just planted, but they are cared for a duration that usually after 2 years they are going to keep living. This particular bond, it just says that a bond be posted and that the bond will be held for at least 2 full growing seasons, or and until basically all conditions and limitations established in the permit are met. So it is tied to for the most part, the plants and for general compliance with the conditions of the permit.
Thank you.
Good question.
Anybody else? Okay, so I'm gonna move to release all but 980.
I'll
Please.
second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to S23-615. 9 Princess Pine Road.
Also a corrective action application that had required plantings. Was also recently inspected to the photos. It looks great. Jump to the end here. So the intent of the establishing the buffer and reestablishing the vegetation in the wetland, as well as this is not them, this is adjacent. There's a kind of a wetland finger that goes across this portion, and then they also restored the buffer around it. And it has been successful on all fronts as far as the installation of the shrubs, the surviving. They found all planted shrubs except for I think one, they said. And it's being maintained as the buffer that it's supposed to be.
Wonderful.
You should send this as the example.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's it kind of earlier in the season.
Nice.
The mix
Of
of
the wetland.
stuff. But yep.
Cool. Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments? And anyone is welcome to jump in and
Looks great.
propose
All
motion
right, motion to release the bond
I'll
in its
second that.
entirety.
in its entirety, yeah.
All right.
Second.
Matt, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Wonderful. Makes it easy, doesn't it? And it's all good to go. S23-631, 207 West Rocks Road.
This is another corrective action application following some yard work. West Rocks. It also looks good. Find some photos somewhere. Shoot. I don't know if I have more recent. So I have one photo from May. I'll share that. The planting plan was successful. So these are these bouldered demarcation. This looks a little similar, but it is not in its maintenance to the lawn versus the buffer. It is more of a wild buffer. Unfortunately, I don't have a good photo of that. I can continue to look. But all shrubs and trees have survived, and this is a not maintained as lawn. I don't know if I have a better photo that is stored where it's supposed to be stored. Doesn't look like I have. This is when it was just seeded. I don't have a very good photo to show you more recently than May. But that's all I got.
Catherine, you're in charge. I have to step away for a second. Is that okay? Would you do that? Oh, maybe she stepped away first.
Both stepped away.
Well, if this one's good to go, I'll move to release it all. Second?
Yeah, I mean, I think we weren't hearing any concerns around compliance there, so I would second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
5-4, and Catherine will just say is not present for the vote. Can we do that?
Yep. Have her abstain.
Okay.
Are you
Uh,
stepping away for a while, Steve, or just for a minute?
no, I think he's okay now.
Hi, sorry.
I've got a kiddo in the shower who seems to be having issues. If he can yell, he can breathe, he's fine. S23, 624, 20 Edith Lane.
Okay, this is the final corrective action application that is up for potential reduction. The bond total of 10,390, most of that, 6,770, was for removal of fill. Some of you may remember this was a gentleman who allowed a variety of excavation companies to deposit material in his backyard, and it kind of escalated to out of control, and he had a ton of filling in his backyard. 3,620 are held for 2 full growing seasons for the plants. That's not eligible for release. He just was able to plant this fall. It took him a long time of he himself digging, but the site does look good. So I have some quick photographs. I was impressed with the big dig. So the wetland area is mostly off site in this area, and then a small finger comes up here and here. This entire area here was like 10 feet higher. Cannot describe how much fill was on this a lot. So I'm standing at the top of the driveway looking down a moderately steep slope to what's now the restored yard area. It is stable. He's put down and he's still there.
You're
Yeah.
breaking up a little
Okay.
bit on us.
That's me.
No, it's Zoom. I just got a notice from Zoom. I don't know. So staff would recommend a reduction of the 6,770
So,
for completing all of that excavation, and it is now seated and stable.
yeah, the picture looks great. So by your assessment, he removed all of the fill that was put there, correct? 100% of it?
Yes.
Nothing that's
Yes.
missing? Okay.
Yep.
Looks good to
Right.
me. I mean, I'll make a motion to reduce the bond for the portion. What was the number? 6,000 something?
770.
770. Yep.
6,770 for S23, 624. Were there any other questions that I got ahead of here?
No, don't ask questions right now. You put in the motion. We need a second.
I'll second.
Just trying to
Now
work.
we can ask for questions.
Man, you're on the procedure today.
Well, what else do I have to do?
Mm.
All right, hearing none. All in favor? All right, unanimous. Thanks, Matt. Okay. Well, that was good. Moving on with our agenda then, would someone like to share their feelings on the November 18th meeting minutes?
I'm going
need
to
Paul.
abstain.
Matt's abstaining. Sorry.
Paul's our minute reader.
I know.
I read them. I approve them.
Would you like to move to approve them?
Sure, I'll make a motion to.
Perfect.
Second?
I can second the motion.
Nice. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Nice work showing initiative. Thank you. Helped us out of a bind there. Moving on to conservation initiatives. I don't have anything to share. Does anyone else? Okay.
I do. I'm gonna participate in the sustainability task force. So I'll let you know
Yay.
they have their first task force meeting. And Interestingly enough, they were having two people speak on geothermal energy, and one guy who is a sewage geothermal expert was talking at 6:30 tonight. They were gonna share a little webinar. So hopefully it's if it's recorded, it would be interesting to hear what they're saying.
It's awesome.
Nice. Good. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, that's great.
What is your category or department or whatever?
I don't know. I'll find
Oh,
out.
really?
Okay.
Interesting. All
I
right.
don't, I'll find out what this is. I raised my hand without knowing, for better
Cool.
or worse. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Thanks
Yeah.
for doing that. Moving on to reports. I don't have any as the chair. Does our senior environmental officer have anything?
No, that not for tonight. No, I'll be sending out the 2026 meeting schedule, which you approved previously at your November meeting, and I will send out the deep if anyone is interested for this year. I had called Deep to see if there were going to be any significant changes, and I've been waiting for confirmation. Never got it. So I'll just send out the current year, and then if any, because I think Paul was interested in just knocking it out. So I'll send that out, but you can all, unless you have nothing to do for the remainder of the year, you can wait until next year in 2026, and then you can sign up for the inland wetland training.
Alexis, I did that already. Do you want the certificate sent to you for proof or?
Not yet, but at some point, yes. I have to look at the statute again there are some reporting requirements that I need to do, but I don't have to, I know that I don't have to do them this year.
I'll make sure I'll save my certificate somewhere. Thanks.
Perfect.
Really showing us up over there.
Love it.
And
There
you're
you go.
at the minute
It's
meeting.
new girl hazing. Yeah. So
Now we gotta get on it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
it's
great.
good information. I mean, yeah, I was supposed to do it when I started my new job last year, and I put it off.
Yeah.
So it was a good reminder to
You-
get it done.
You didn't need to tell us that.
Yeah,
You
you
should
should
have stopped
Yeah,
when you
Remove
told
that
us-
from the official.
strike that from the record.
that's right.
Diana,
Yeah. It's just that she's awesome.
there
Right?
you go. All right. We'll
So,
leave
well,
that
I'm a
up.
nerd. I love this stuff. So yeah, it's just that I'm eager to learn.
And the current one is pretty good. It's not as good as what they used to do in person, but it's much better than these CD or DVDs that they had put together as interim training. So all good.
Okay.
That's it for me.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
A second.
Yes. All in favor? Aye. Okay, great. Just about an hour. Good work. Is this the last one of the year?
This
Last
is
meeting?
the last meeting of the year.
Okay.
I think the agenda said next meeting, January 13th, right? Like
That is true.
There's a
Okay.
public hearing as well, I believe, right?
That is also true. The public hearing for the
Interesting.
map amendment at Manresa Wilds. Yes.
Okay.
They hadn't submitted any documentation, right?
Not yet,
Not
but
yet.
as soon as they do, I will let you know.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, be well, everybody. We'll see you in 2026.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A good
You as
holiday.
well.
Have a good
Happy
holiday.
Happy New Year.
Be safe, happy
Yeah.
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Thanks,
Thank you.
all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.